How many of us are here? That's pretty cool.
Oh, no.
This is a great day. It's 40 years in the making, an extremely fast 40 years. And the university gave me a script, and they gave me 4 minutes. And I'm going to go both of those things. What they wanted me to talk about was what the band means to me. And frankly, none of you would be sitting here if the band didn't mean a heck of a lot to each of you. So it was pretty redundant. So what I want to use my time to do is talk about the two men who brought this band together and the reason we're sitting here. And it's easy to look around this facility and say, yeah, it's great, it has bathrooms, it has a roof, it has storage. But when I first walked up here yesterday, what I was struck with was, wow, this university has finally said thank you to the Marching Virginians. I know real estate is at a premium at this place. And I can't think of a nicer spot. But yes, it is. It's finally a moment of respect, a moment of appreciation. And it didn't happen without my two-person story. And my two-person story begins with Dr. James Sachinsky. And I'm shocked to remember that we met you in a place where you meet band directors, which is the basement.
That was awesome.
Basement of Major Bill, which is not there on the side. And what's familiar is that's where I met my father when he was practicing his profession in the basement. Shortly thereafter, you got out of your subterranean existence and got that beautiful facility that I think we call security, which was basically a giant storage shed, but it had a window, so that was good. It's a major step up. Now the part you forgot about our relationship was I actually worked for you. I was your work study. $2.20 an hour. I'm not sure I really provided great value in that. But what I remember that time was I had very big ears. And Dr. Sachinsky's, it wasn't really an office, it was just a storage area. So his desk was there, and I would be kind of over here, and he'd be on the phone. And what I remember clearly is, we all know what Dr. Sachinsky is probably the most proud of, is how this band sounds, the musicianship of this band. I think, his brethren at this university, they know him as a composer, an arranger, a music educator, and a musician. But we know him as Uncle Jim, our band. I was kind of wondering if that's been lost. And so we're literally walking in from the parking lot. Hi, how you doing? Nice to see you. And the first person in a band uniform says, hi, little Jim. So obviously this nearly 40-year journey, people still feel exactly the same way. But when I think about what we've done for this band, it's a lot more than the notes on the page. Because one of the things I heard on the way to that beach bowl was there was a question, which band was going to go? Remember that we had never been to a ball game before when this band was in existence. And it was kind of a hot topic, and yes, we eventually went. But I also heard words like, bands are expensive. Why does this school have 2 bands? And believe me, they were never talking about losing that other band. So I think, whether, and this may be revisionist history, but I think Dr. Sachinsky said to himself, this band has to become part of the tradition of this university, number 1. It has to become entertaining, number 2. And my recollection is that next fall, we rolled out something called the pregame show. Now the pregame show, some 35 years later, is largely the same. No greater tribute to the tradition. And I have a very clear memory of the first time we rolled that thing out. Made the state of Virginia, played Superman fanfare, took a bow, and when we got it from our bow, people were applauding. It wasn't the band's here, thank you very much. It turning point in this band's history. And I think a big part of what the band still does, and I should be very proud of that. The second thing was entertainment value. Now, Bob White is running around here with a camera. Bob was in charge of the Tubas, a highly disciplined group of musicians. And I have this really clear memory of being up in this cornfield up here where we used to practice. And Bob coming over and goes, Uncle Jim wants us to dance. I said, well, we can't even march. What kind of dance? Oh, a hokey pokey. Oh, great. So for the next several hours, Bob taught us his version of the hokey pokey. Uncle Jim would come over and he goes, you guys have to sell this. You have to sell it. So we're just trying to stand up. But yes, we brought out the hokey pokey. And again, cheers. Now, I hadn't been at Virginia Tech for about 10 years while I was busy having children. And when I came back, at the end of the third quarter, out rolled the tubas. And they're going to the end zone. Well, this is really cool. They're going to do the hokey pokey. And then I noticed they're not just the marching huge tubas out there. And I got to tell you, I really don't think it's a great idea. I mean, that's our thing. Can we have our one thing? We don't ask them to shoot their cannon. You never will that. But that's what I think of when I think of Dr. Sichinski. I think of Uncle Jim and him taking the band through the years when there was a question whether there was going to be a band, and making this what it is today, some 40 years later, which is an institution at Virginia Tech, which is greatly appreciated and loved. So thank you, Dr. Sichinski. If I didn't recognize this lovely lady right here. This is Mrs. Sichinski, Sherry Sichinski. So we stand. Mrs. S was reminding me we were kids, all of us, when we knew each other. And she was there every day, every performance in the Sichinski Marching Band Partnership. Some may say it was because you only had one car. But it was much more than that. You took the time to get to know us, know our names, invited us into your home, shared your life with us. And in my case, just for one person and woman, gave me lots of dating advice. And I really appreciated all that time. It was a long way from home. And to get a smile and a hug was extremely important, and I just wanted to thank you. So thank you, Mrs. Sichinski. So now we're on the business side of this venture. I didn't march when Dave McKee was here, and so I really got to know him as an alumni. And he's without a doubt the most dedicated, energetic, enthusiastic, and passionate guy I know. And whenever you talk to him, he doesn't refer to the band as the students or the MVs. He refers to them as his kids. And he is not only invested in putting on a good show, but he's invested in all the marching unions each year as individuals and people, and trying to do everything he can to not only make them successful on Saturday, but make them successful in life. And as I got to know Dave, it was about 8, 9 years ago, I get this phone call and say, Mike, come into Orlando, Florida, can I see you? I said, sure. I thought maybe it was New Tuba Day or something. And he walks in with this picture of the Penn State Marching Band's building. I said, what's this? This is what we need. I said, really? I said, it's a rehearsal hall, it's a field, it's a locker room. He said, Mike, what do you think? I said, Dave, I think you're nuts. And Dave said, well, then Mike, you're a business person, maybe you understand these things better than me. And he called me the next day and said, Mike, thanks for your time, and maybe I am nuts. A year goes by. Calls me again. Mike, how you doing? Got the presentation done. What presentation? The marching band building. I said, Dave, I thought we'd been through this already. No, that's great. The dean loves it. I want to come down and show it to you. So now he's got this PowerPoint presentation. And he's going through this thing, showing me it, on and on and on. And I said, okay, Dave, you really have some support? I said, well, maybe you should make it like a multi-purpose building. And maybe attach it to something the football team's building. Maybe you should go to the Arts Center. He goes, no, we need our own building. I said, okay, good luck with that. Literally another year goes by. Mike, how you doing? I'm in Orlando. Okay, walks in. Now he has a tow with him university development people. Now we all know what university development comes and says, the president loves the idea. I said, really? I said, well, what is this going to cost? $1 gazillion. I said, that's great. The president gave you $1 gazillion? Well, not exactly. So at this point in the evolution of this, I'm thinking, how do I get him to leave me alone? So I come up with an idea. I said, I'll tell him, I'll give you a fraction of $1 gazillion and challenge you to go raise it somewhere else, and I'll probably never see you again. 2 years ago, Mike, how you doing? I got the rest of the money. My first thought was, how am I going to explain this to my wife? Dave didn't leave me alone. He didn't leave anybody alone. President Sands, I know you haven't been here very long. If this man walks into your office, just give him what he wants. It's going to happen. But, this is just an awesome experience to walk in here. I was a little nervous. I don't talk in public for a living. But sitting here, it just felt like home. And I think that's what March of Reunions means to each and every one of us. And there's one last piece of business that I want to discuss. And that's, if you Google Marching Virginians, Board of Visitors, you'll see in the summer of 14, I was very pleased to say the Board of Visitors voted yes to name this building what it needs to be named, Sitchinski McKee. And it says there, university policy is, both these folks have to retire, and rules, and we are at Virginia Tech. President Sands, I just was making a turn on the way down here. I noticed there's a road named after a current University employee. Maybe. Now, as one of the few people who can't get fired up here, I would respectfully say, perhaps has there been a change in policy? Perhaps, if we revisit this thing and maybe call the sign guy, who's going to notice? So, no pressure. Just a respectful request. But thank you all for this time. I know it was more than 4 minutes, but it's been freaking 36 years from then. And we got our money's worth. Thank you all.
really don't know how to express my appreciation to you for everything you've done for the Marching Virginians. I'll call you Monday too, Monday. More importantly, the honor you bestowed on Chip and me just beyond our comprehension. Thank you for that. We can never say thanks enough. It's been such an honor for me to work with Jim Suchinski and be associated with the Marching Virginians for over 30 years. And that truly is what it's all about. Jim, thank you. I want to thank everyone who has participated in this program this morning, particularly President Sands, Tony Isler, and the other members of our stage party. And I especially want to thank our students who've contributed to this program, especially our executive officer, Nick Dimitri. To you, our guests, I can only say thanks again for helping to build the future of this proud band. Many of you older MVs, you take great pride in telling me how tough it was. I know. I think what you really want to express is the pride that you have in this organization every time you hear a play, and the thrill that you have that these young people bring to you. It just swells in your heart each and every time you hear our student musicians play. To every one of you who helped to turn this landfill into a facility for one of the university's great treasures, I thank you for your time, your talents, and your enthusiastic support of our student musicians. You make Virginia Tech a better place each and every day, and I thank you. As we start to wrap this up this morning, I want to...
Hey, Dave. Hang tight, Dave. Come on. What would this be without music? Am I right? Yeah! Come to think of it, how do we open the Marching Virginians Center without the Marching Virginians? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to ask you to join us on the field. This is a musical performance by the young men and women who really make this happen.